Coming up, the sights and sounds of Palm Sunday at Furman.
Furman does March Madness by the numbers.
Find out who's the big man on campus.
And the women's lacrosse team gets over the hump. We'll explain these stories and more coming up in the nightly news.
3, 2.
The following program is produced by students in the Department of Communication Studies at Furman University.
I'm Matsuri Ogawa.
And I'm Molly Marshall, here to give you this week's nightly news. There was a service on Sunday for Furman students celebrating Palm Sunday. There was a good turnout of students for this Christian holiday. Lindsay Dennis reports.
Palm Sunday Passion Service at Daniel Chapel drew a large crowd of Furman students in preparation for Easter this weekend. What denomination are you?
I'm Methodist.
Is this typical for you coming here on a Sunday, or do you go to another church?
Well, I usually go to a church in downtown Greenville, but this chapel has services every so often, so I like to come here because it's convenient.
Chaplain Von Crow-Tipton delivered a message of loving each other in remembrance of Jesus' death on the cross.
We should not forget that the opposite of love isn't anger or hostility. It's indifference.
The Great Thanksgiving was also performed at the end of the service through taking of communion.
The Holy Spirit promised upon these gifts of bread and wine, that the bread we break and the cup we bless may be the communion of the body and blood of Christ.
The spring services like this can be interesting because sometimes we'll have larger crowds than this. We've had packed room, for the service, and then sometimes it's 15 or 20 students.
The service doubled as a CLP for students, preparing them for the major Christian holiday just around the corner. As you can see, we had a huge turnout here today for Palm Sunday with our Furman students preparing for Easter. This is Lindsay Dennis with the Nightly News.
Up next in sports, the women's lacrosse team goes into overtime.
And 2 Furman athletes are featured on ESPN. Here's Samantha Eccles with our sports segment.
Thanks, Matsuri and Molly. The women's lacrosse team had an exciting victory last Friday evening and have high hopes for the rest of their season. PJ Fitzgerald reports.
The Furman Paladins women's lacrosse team faced the Campbell University Camels last Friday evening in front of a raucous Paladin Stadium crowd. They are currently in the middle of their second season as a program and continue to show that they can compete with the best. Friday was also the girls' Pink Out game as they raise awareness for breast cancer.
You know, since we're a spring season, we don't get to wear pink like football and all of them get to do in October, but we always try to do a Power in Pink game just to help support breast cancer, and Under Armour has a Power in Pink kind of line, and this year we're sponsored by Under Armour, so we kind of link onto them, but really it's just to spread awareness just like everybody else.
The first half was a back-and-forth battle with Furman taking an early lead, with Campbell responding with 2 quick goals of their own. Furman was down for most of the first half, but carried momentum into the locker room as they closed the gap, making it a 1-goal game by halftime. But Furman came out firing in the second half, with an offensive spark provided by upperclassmen Devin Horine and Paige Gamble. With a minute to go, Furman tied the game 14-all, and then sophomore sensation Meg Lingo scored in overtime to secure the win for the Paladins.
I think we made some really good adjustments. After timeouts, we came out on fire. I think the girls were able to make an adjustment in a huddle and come out and actually do it, which was exciting. And I think the biggest thing that I said coming into it was we needed to have more energy to them and want it more, and that's what happened.
We knew we had to work our hardest and come up with all the grub balls, and the draws really helped us. So we knew it was going to be a tough game.
The Lady Paladins had a real exciting game tonight as they beat the Camels in overtime, 15-14 on a Meg Lingo goal. They look forward as they head up to Baltimore to face the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays next Saturday. This is PJ Fitzgerald signing off for the Nightly News.
Furman is feeling strong Paladin pride after a night of 2 extraordinary wins from the men's baseball and basketball teams. Mallory Fitzgerald reports.
The spring sports season at Furman is in full swing. The success of 2 athletic teams has even received national recognition by ESPN's Sports Center.
Paladin pride is at an all-time high after both men's baseball and basketball teams were victorious in the final moments of both of their games within only hours of each other.
On March 15th, the baseball team beat nationally ranked College of Charleston, winning the game in walk-off fashion.
Yeah, it was my first walk-off ever. It's just a feeling that you can't explain, just a magical time. Can't be put into words. Just every kid's dream to be on Sports Center. It's why you play the game, it's why you put in all the work. It was a dream come true, honestly.
Only hours before, just across campus, the men's basketball team beat Louisiana Monroe with a buzzer beater.
Being at the game was so much fun, and being there at the end for the buzzer beater was insane. The energy was wild. So awesome getting to see all the other players tackle the guy that made the last goal. And it was just like a huge moment for Furman, and Paladin pride was definitely running high that day.
Keep an eye out for what's next for these Furman Paladins. This is Mallory Fitzgerald reporting for the Nightly News.
That's all for sports. Back to you, Matt Suri.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament, known as March Madness, is underway. Professors in the math department are working with students to apply class knowledge in filling out their tournament brackets. Amy Beard reports.
March Madness has people everywhere filling out brackets, and it's no different at Furman. Fans often make their predictions based off their favorite team, but here at Furman, the math department is trying to get it down to a science.
The rankings and ratings that come into play with sports and brackets, as well as other topics like how Google gets you web page results and how Netflix gets you movie recommendations, all of that stuff has this linear algebra, this linear idea behind it.
Methods, we came to statements.
Students in Dr. Bozarth's Math 160 class can apply their class material to predict the tournament outcome.
So what I do in the class is nice because it can be done very quickly. You can give students a day's lecture about these, the Colley method, the Massey method, some of the ideas of how to weight different games, and then let them go to the website. They can enter it all and make choices based on what they think is important, and then output the results into their brackets.
Students aren't just wasting class time filling out brackets.
It is part of the assignment. So actually, I count it as a quiz grade. It's their favorite quiz. And each student has to do a bracket that is mathematically generated. So, they get to make choices of one of these methods we've talked about. And there are a number of features they can implement to make their bracket different from another student's bracket. So I don't get a class full of identical brackets.
Class participation increases too.
With the bracketology project, it's absolutely a time when people perk up.
So it's been fun to kind of apply what we're learning a little bit to actually something that's actually really fun to look at.
Here outside of the math department in Riley Hall, professors are always looking for ways to make course material more fun and engaging. This is Amy Beard for the Nightly News.
Coming up in activities, the Paddock isn't playing any games with its new trivia night.
And Zeta crowns their big man on campus while raising money for an important issue. Here's Jay Krause with our activity segment.
Thanks, Molly. I'm here at the Paddock, which recently hosted its first trivia night. Students were delighted to learn that a new fun campus activity was available on Thursday evenings. A.B. Poon reports.
The Paddock is Furman's newest dining destination on campus. Milkshakes are perhaps the most popular item on the menu. However, many students prefer eating off campus in the evenings and on the weekends, when the Paddock is primarily open. In hopes of increasing their business, the managers of the Paddock came up with the idea of hosting a trivia night for students.
My boss is the one who came up with it, and I work here at the Paddock. So she was very excited and wanted to bring in some new vibes to the Paddock and have people see this as a place to hang out and play games. So she asked me if I knew any groups or organizations who would be interested to do like a test run. And I said, yes, I know a bunch of APO people would love to do it.
In teams of 4, students gathered to eat and compete. Trivia questions ranged from pop culture to American history to riddles.
And a waitress.
Ooh, it's like a riddle.
They serve! They serve!
Some did not take the loss well. Many students have personal vehicles which they use for traveling to nearby bars, restaurants, and entertainment venues. Over 2,900 cars are currently registered on campus. Events like Trivia Night at the Paddock provide students with a fun social setting that neither requires a car or extra cash.
If it were to work with my schedule, I would definitely continue to come to Trivia Night.
Whether you're grabbing a milkshake to go or sitting down for a burger with friends, be sure to check out the Paddock's Trivia Night this spring. This is Amy Poon reporting for the Nightly News.
The Paddock plans to do this more Thursday evenings throughout the semester. Zeta Tau Alpha Sorority also hosted a male beauty pageant March 3rd to help spread awareness for breast cancer. Paige Gamble reports.
On March 3rd in McAllister Auditorium, Zeta Tau Alpha hosted Big Man on Campus, a fundraiser to raise money for their philanthropy, breast cancer education, and awareness.
The organizations involved tonight varied from different fraternities to ROTC, FUSAB, Heller. We really wanted to get a variety of organizations involved just to reach out to the broader Furman community.
Big Man on Campus is a male beauty pageant which consists of 4 events: a dance competition, a brawl fashion show, a talent show, and a question portion. Some of the talents included shirtless push-ups, musical talents, and others such as yoga and comedy. Eric Zofranoff, representing Sigma Chi, was crowned the first Furman University's Big Man on campus.
It's amazing, being able to come out here and actually do something for a good cause. Raising money for breast cancer is it's a great thing that Zeta puts together. And charity's always just been a big part of my life, and I just think it's a beautiful thing that they've done so far. Being the biggest man on campus, it's a real honor, honestly. I was really excited when I heard that they were putting this together. I've heard about it from other schools. So, just overall, it was a great time and it's a cool thing.
Big Man on Campus is Eric Zofranoff.
Zeta Tau Alpha raised over $1,000 for this fundraiser. This is Paige Gamble reporting for the Nightly News.
That's all for activities this week. Back to you, Molly.
Many students searched their closets this week for anything green in preparation for St. Patrick's Day. Kendall Hawthorne reports.
St. Patrick's Day began as a religious holiday, but its true meaning has been lost.
Patrick's Day originally started as a day to break from Lent and whatnot, which today translates to drinking.
St. Patrick converted Ireland to Christianity and is known as the patron saint. The holiday has been celebrated since his death on March 17, 461.
The point of St. Patrick's Day to just get together with your friends and have a few drinks and celebrate the day.
Let's talk St. Patrick's Day by the numbers. 77% of St. Patrick's Day celebrators are 18 to 24 years old. The worldwide bar tab is $245 million, and 13 million pints of Guinness are consumed on the holiday.
To celebrate Irish heritage. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, Jerry Langan, so I'm Irish big time, so you got to celebrate the heritage,
Furman Police did not notice a spike in alcohol-related incidents, but the students certainly enjoyed a healthy dose of celebratory activities, most of which took place at the local Irish pub, Connolly's. The amount of beer consumed on St. Patrick's Day is enough to fill 60% of the Empire State Building.
I really don't understand what St. Patrick's Day is, but my understanding is drinking, having fun with friends.
8 of 10 Furman students polled claimed they would celebrate St. Patrick's Day by drinking. 6 of 10 said they would wear green, and 3 out of 10 said they would attend a church service.
I don't know, drinking.
The staff at Connolly's prepares months in advance for the rush of business they receive on the Irish holiday.
I'm going to say to wear green. That's definitely the point of St. Patrick's Day.
I just like celebrating culture and having a great time with your boys and some girls and just throwing down. Like, holy cow, last night was great. Go Dins, make Furman great again.
All across the world, people love to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, whether it be by going to a parade, eating festive food, or just drinking an ice-cold beer. I'm here in front of Furman's Chapel, where few recognize its importance on this holiday. Remember to always celebrate responsibly, and may the luck of the Irish be with you. This is Kendall Hawthorne reporting for the Nightly News.
That's all for our news this week.
Join us next week or find us on YouTube to catch more nightly news.
So what are you doing for